everybody, it's Emily from Naptime Creations, and today I'm going to show you how to make a really cute and easy felt Easter basket. It's not hard, you don't even need a sewing machine. Today I'm going to use embroidery floss and a needle to do some hand sewing, but overall it's a very simple project. So what you'll need for this Easter basket is felt, and I've already cut some 1-inch strips of felt, and what you need is you need 5 of one color, 5 of another color. You could also do the same color, and those are going to create the basket that we're going to make. And then you also need a 3rd color, or again you could just use 1 or 2 colors, but I'm using 3 colors to make a colorful Easter basket today. So you're going to begin by weaving the bottom of the basket. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out this green felt. And one thing that is very helpful for this project is to have felt that's a little bit stiff. And when I was looking through my felt, I found this green felt that's very stiff. You can see when I hold it, it just kind of sticks straight out. Whereas this pink is a little bit floppier. So I'm hoping that because the green is a structured, stiff felt, that it will give the basket the structure that it needs. I've done this before and I used felt that wasn't structured at all, wasn't stiff at all. So this hopefully will be a in-between basket. And I'm just going to start a basic weave, and you'll be able to see as I get going that it has the more of the design. But essentially what I'm trying to do is center my pieces of felt, and then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to weave the opposite, okay, through here. So I'm just starting the bottom of the basket, and it just takes some work, some moving it around. I want these to be as close as possible because this is the bottom of the basket and we don't want those Easter treats falling out. So we're going to try to weave that really close together. I love this lime green and pink combination, and we're also going to add some purple as we get going on this as well. So again, I'm trying to center these 2 colors of felt to each other, and I'm just experimenting with different ways to weave this. One is to lift up all the pieces that will go the alternating way, and then just kind of lay them back down and see how that works. So that's really coming along nicely. And then we have one more, and then our bottom will be complete. See? Told you it was going to be fast. It's really simple. Again, these felt strips are 1 inch by about 17 inches, but depending on the size that you want your basket, you might want to make them longer or shorter. Okay, so we have a finished woven bottom of our basket. Now what we need to start doing is going up the sides. So to do that, you need to take your other color, and it can be the same color as you've already used, or a 3rd color like I'm going to do. And we're going to take it and we're going to pin it to one of the bottom strips. Okay? And then actually I'll do it on the front so you can see it. So we're going to pin it right here, and then we're going to weave around the basket. So we're going to, half of them are going to be left lying, and the other half we're going to start our weaving. And in the corners, you just want to kind of estimate how much felt to leave for the corner. This green is really nice and stiff. It's going to provide good structure for our basket. Okay. And when you get back around, then you're going to redo your pin. So now both layers of felt are through it, and then you're going to trim that piece of felt that you just used. Okay, I bet you can guess the next step. The next step is to do it again, only alternating your weaving. So I'm going to this time pin it to the back of this fabric strip, or this felt strip, and we're going to weave. I guess I'm going the opposite direction as well, but you're going to weave this second layer of your basket. And you want to make sure that you're pulling it tight enough that your basket actually stands up. And if you feel like it's not staying or it's drooping over, you could definitely add some more pins along the way to get that to stay. So I'm just going to put another pin over on this opposite side here, and that will just give my basket a little bit of shape as I finish weaving this. And then when you get back around, again, redo your pin. And then just go ahead and kind of give a tug on these pieces of felt and slide it down if you feel like it's creeping up. But you can see how you want it to be a pretty tight weave there on the side. And I think this side seems to be sagging over a little bit. So I'm just going to pull this bottom row a little bit tighter, and I can always trim that felt later. All right, and so you're going to continue in this way for 4 rows.
Here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail. Hippity hoppin', Easter's on its way, bringing every girl and boy baskets full of Easter joy, things to make your Easter bright and gay. He's got jelly beans for Tommy, colored eggs for Sister Sue. There's an orchid for your mommy and an Easter bonnet.
Okay, and then because we want, you can see, you know, it's not exactly staying together. We want it to stay nicely while we do this next part. I'm going to go around and I'm going to put several pins around the top layer after I've kind of straightened everything out and make sure it's the way I want it. We're going to put several pins along this top layer to hold everything in place. And essentially I'm pinning every other piece of felt. So get it all pushed down and straightened out just the way you want, and then pin each side. So you don't want big gaps. You obviously want this to be woven pretty tightly, and then your Easter goodies will stay inside. And at this point you can check and see if any of your pieces that you did going around, so in my case those are the purple pieces, if any of them seem bigger than others and are trying to stick out. And like here I just see that's, you know, looks a little bit big, so I'm going to give that a tug. Alright, so you can see now it has a really nice structure, and just try to smooth it out and see if some of these are too big or they just need to be rearranged. If you want it to curve in at the top, then you just want to pull those layers of purple, I'm just saying purple because that's the color I used, those tighter as you go up. What we're going to do now is we're going to put a binding across the top, which will keep this all together. And before we do that, we need to trim any of these extra spokes from our weaving around the top. So we want to, that's why I wanted to pin it, to make sure that they were all laying nicely before I trim this part. So again, these were 1 by 17 inches. You could make it longer if you want to make your basket taller. But I'm just trying to make a nice medium-sized Easter basket here, perfect for picking up eggs, and for me maybe to add an extra special treat or two as well. So this one's for my daughter. I made 2 of these for my boys several years ago, but now that we have a girl, we need to also add her to our Easter fun. So I'm going to use embroidery floss to, or embroidery thread to sew around. And I'm going to use half a strand. And one of these strands is 6 small strands. So I'm going to separate it in half. And before we put the top on, I'm going to sew up the side here. And these are the sides that had where they overlap, where I started and finished my sewing. So I'm going to go up that side with my embroidery thread. And I'm just going to do a stitch right down the center, catching both layers of felt. Actually, it's 3 layers of felt because it's 2 layers of purple and 1 layer of the pink that it's woven through. And you want to make sure you get a couple good stitches in each of the purple spokes. And when you're all done with this, if you want to go back and trim some more, if there's extra on there, you can. But this will just hold.
Here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail.
Okay, and now that that's done, we can put our binding on. And our binding is 2 inches and times the diameter, the circumference of our bag, our basket. And I'm going to just start by pinching it over. And then I'm going to just do stitches along the bottom part. And I've got pins all along this bag, the basket, and I'm just going to remove those as I go. So we're just enclosing the top of this basket in a folded over 2-inch piece of felt. And so each time you go through, you want to make sure that you're catching the back and the front of your felt. And then as you get to the pins, we're just going to remove them as we go around.
Here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail. Hippity hoppin', Easter's on its way, bringing every girl and boy baskets full of Easter joy, things to make your Easter bright and gay. He's got jelly beans for Tommy, colored eggs for Sister Sue. There's an orchid for your mommy.
And when you get all the way back around to where you're going to overlap, you just want to trim your felt long enough that you'll have a little bit of overlap, and then just finish sewing it. Okay, now the last step to your super cute Easter basket right, which is looking adorable, is to add a handle. So you have to decide if you want the handle, you know, going this way or this way, whichever way you think looks good. And you're going to cut 2-inch wide pieces of felt. And I like to cut a double layer. So I'm going to use 1 piece of green and 1 piece of pink in my basket handle. And what we're going to do is we're first going to just sew the handle onto the side of the basket, and then we're going to pinch it over to stabilize it and allow it to be even thicker. So the first thing I'm going to do is just sew it along the side of each side. And I will sew this with 2, I'll do 1 seam here and then 1 seam there to make sure that it's nice and strong.
He's got jelly beans for Tommy, colored eggs for Sister Sue. There's an
And then we're going to go and we're going to do the other one on the other side. And at this point, if you want to lengthen or shorten your handle, this is where you would do that.
Good for your mommy and an Easter bonnet too. Oh, here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail. Hippity hoppity, happy Easter day.
And then for the final step, we're going to just make this handle a little bit easier to hold on to. And we're going to pinch it in half, a couple inches up, and we're going to sew around to the other side with those edges pinched together. And you should be able to see little hints of both the pink and the green through the edges of the basket. So we want to make sure we're getting the green as well as the going through the pink in each stitch. Okay, and you're finished. So now you have a super cute Easter basket that you can take for egg hunting or to an Easter party, or if you put treats in there for your kids on Easter morning. So enjoy!